Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, giving you all the State of the Saints podcast halftime report. The New Orleans Saints trailed the Washington Commanders by a score of 14-0. At this point, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm watching this game, but I kind of just told everybody, it was just going to be a hard matchup for the New Orleans Saints. But if you look at this game and you look at what's transpiring right before your eyes, in my honest opinion, what we're actually seeing is if you get yourself a little bit more production from your quarterback, could have found yourself in this game, because it seems like the defense, they want to play. Like, the defense is out here making plays, man. They're giving up some plays, but they are getting pressure on Jaden Daniels. They're getting them on the ground. They got 4 sacks in the first half. If you can actually do something with the football, man, on the offensive side, then I think that you can, maybe make this thing competitive. Like right now, the offense is just a non-factor. I mean, it's just not. And, people want to get at me, because, I tweeted on X, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to like expound on my tweet and what I was saying. And let me go ahead and pull it up so everybody can, know what I said. Because, when we're talking about social media, sometimes people have a tendency of making their own interpretations about what you're actually saying instead of like actually really reading into what you're saying, which makes me realize that the public school system failed quite a few people, especially when it comes to these interpretations. But let me go ahead and like read what I said. All right. This is my tweet. I said, there's no one who can convince me that the reason the Saints didn't sign a credible veteran quarterback was to protect Derek Carr's ego. Jameis Winston's popularity in 2023 was disruptive, and they didn't want that to be an issue like that in 2024. Since 2020, the Saints have consistently dealt with injuries to the quarterback position. So it doesn't make any sense not to sign a reliable backup. I say that to say this. I don't think it's hard for anybody to interpret what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Jameis Winston's popularity. Jameis Winston, people believing that there's a possibility that this guy should have been a starter in the first place. Not me saying this, but the fact that people felt like maybe there was something more there. And the fact that the Saints organization knew that Jameis Winston was more popular of a quarterback than Derek Carr, and they paid Derek Carr all the money that they did, is the reason why the New Orleans Saints moved on, and now they have 2 inexperienced quarterbacks that are backing up Derek Carr. You're not going to tell me that if the Saints would have went out and maybe got Tyrod Taylor or went out and got Tyler Huntley or something like that, that little stretch where the New Orleans Saints lost those games when Spencer Rattler was the backup, you're not going to tell me they don't win at least 1 or 2 of those games. You're not going to tell me. And if they would have had a credible veteran quarterback, then you would have found yourself in the thick of things in this division. We are looking at, oh man, the Saints, they failed. They're going to be bad. They are bad. But the whole division is bad. The whole division is bad. What is Tampa? 7-6? Atlanta 6-7? You have to win a division. And miss me with that stuff like, oh man, well, what would their record be? If you only follow football in spurts, please, pretty please, don't come at your boy. There have been several situations where teams have stumbled into the playoffs and have made a magical run. Do you realize that the New York Football Giants stumbled into the playoffs and found themselves in the Super Bowl against the Patriots? Do you understand that the first team that we were criticizing about winning their division with a bad record beat the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs? Do you remember the whole Beastquake game? The Seattle Seahawks had a losing record going into the playoffs. They were 7-8 or something like that, or 8-8. They were a bad football team, and they still found a way to beat the New Orleans Saints. Last season, a 9-8 Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team beat a Philadelphia Eagles team and was on the cusp, really close to knocking off the Detroit Lions and them going to the NFC Championship game. So as far as I'm concerned, you can look at the records. You can look at the size of that team versus your team all you want to. But all I'm saying is you don't win. You ain't in. If you had a chance to make the postseason by winning the division, no matter how bad your record is, no matter how bad the team looks, you still get a chance to make the postseason. And if the New Orleans Saints would have not took into consideration the ego of Derek Carr, we would not be in this situation. Plain and simple. Oh, it's not the fault. It's not the fault of the quarterback. Looking at this game, and you decide that it's the quarterback. Man, please. Yes. If they had better quarterback play, then this game would be much closer than what it is. Would the Saints be winning this game? Probably not. But they'll probably have some points on the board. Hell, they will probably be in plus territory. But some of you, all you want to do is sit up here and argue and try to tell people what they do wrong. I encourage, look, I'm dead serious. We got a whole post-game thing going on. Call in to the podcast. Call into the podcast, and I dare you. If you don't feel like I know what I'm talking about, call in. Call in and talk to your boy. Call in and talk to me. Let's see who knows what. Let's see who knows what. Come on. No, don't be afraid. Don't hide in the tweets and then throw the brick and hide your head. Come on in and talk. And tell me why you feel like this whole situation where the Saints, with their record right now, prove to me that no matter if they would have had a credible backup quarterback, then they would have at least been competitive in the division. Please, somebody, please come at me. If I'm just some Joe Blow off the street, please come to me and try to convince me and see how that ends up for you. But all in all, looking at this New Orleans Saints team defensively, like they fighting out there, man. They trying to battle. There were some mistakes that were made, like that personal foul call on Peyton Turner, where the Commanders kicked the field goal was 3 points, but instead they got extra downs and they end up scoring a touchdown on that. The Saints not being able to get off the field. I think there was a 2nd and 18. They end up converting that. I mean, you're not getting first downs. I want to say only 2 first downs in the first half. Just bad football all around. You're not going to win many football games like that. And especially if you think about Jake Haener, I mean, he looks rattled. He looks afraid. I mean, he's stumbling. He's slipping all over the place. He doesn't he looks very small out there. Like he looks really, really small out there playing the quarterback position. I don't know if, they're going to continue to roll with him. It'd be interesting to see if they're going to let him go back out there. But I mean, the Boo Birds are out. You're not moving the football, and it don't look like it's working out for him, man. I mean, it's just not it. I mean, he got happy feet back there. He moving around in the pocket. You can tell like the speed of the game is really getting to him. He's not really processing the field the way that he should. He trying to play hero ball. He throwing the ball across the middle. Like, it's just not working out. It's just not working out, man. So I don't know. It's this is very, very telling right here. I know that, you're not going out there with your top receivers and all that, but man, there was times where guys were open. I want to say it was, one player wide open in the middle of the field. I want to say it was Valdez-Scantling. He just throws it at his feet. I mean, it just the moment just looks a little bit too big for him, and he looks extremely small, man. Like, he looks tiny out there, and and I guess because he's so small, they got him dropping back so far, man, and you're losing 8 or 9 yards getting sacked. So yeah, I don't see any signs of letting up, man. I just don't think that it's working out. But the Saints have no one to blame but themselves, because if you would have went out and got yourself a veteran quarterback and, somebody maybe, be able to keep things afloat when you're dealing with injuries. And look, anybody that don't learn from their history are doomed to repeat it. And the New Orleans Saints, they've had injuries to the quarterback position, starting quarterbacks missing time. So you should have learned from this mistake last year, when you actually had Derek Carr, having these injuries. Like, you should have learned, like, man, there's a possibility that we can actually lose this guy. And you should have went out and got yourself a veteran quarterback. But once again, don't want that quarterback to be looked at as somebody that's popular, that trumps Derek Carr's popularity or make them feel some type of way. But you're basically jeopardizing your team's success in the process, because you knew, like, you got to be a pretty bad football team if you can't look at this and look at practices and see that these young guys, although they may have some level of talent, that they're not ready for this moment. But this show is brought to you by BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 150% on your first deposit, up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. Go ahead and look at some of these stats here, or lack thereof. Jake Haener, 4 of 10, 49 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara, 4 carries for 8 yards. Jake Haener, 1 carry for 7. Valdez-Scantling, 1 carry for 4. Alvin, 3 catches for 37 yards. Dante Pettis, 1 catch for 12 yards. None for Valdez-Scantling or Cedric Wilson. But you have the defense. 7 tackles for Demario Davis. Will Harris with 5. Ugo Amadi with 5. Alante Taylor with 5. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Carl Granderson, Pete Warner with 4. Cam Jordan has 3 tackles and a sack. Tyrann Mathieu has 3 tackles on 1 solo. Chase Young has a sack. And also Willie Gay, Rico Payton, Brian Brzee, Jalen Ford, Colin Sanders, and Peyton Turner all have 1 sack. So those are your halftime stats for the New Orleans Saints. Thank you for those that donated. Josh says our D-line is playing surprisingly well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you had some better quarterback play, you can find yourself being in a competitive game. But look, that defense is going to get tired, man, being on the field as long as they have. I mean, you looked at the stats. I mean, the offense isn't really doing anything. Mario Davis has 7 tackles right now in the first half because the defense has been on the field as long as it has. One of the most painful things about being a Saints fan is dealing with the racism in the fan base, the excuses being made for Haener. Well, look, I don't know what they're making excuses for. I don't understand what the excuse is. I mean, he's playing bad right now. He is. He doesn't look good at all. And his offensive line, you can tell like the chemistry isn't there. He's backing up way too far, like in order for like the defensive players to basically just kind of go around him. Like he's not like, he's not sitting in a pocket. I mean, he's too far back. There was one play where he gave up a sack because he was just too far back. Like he stepped back away from the pocket. So I'm like, man, what are you doing? But yeah, man, it's pretty bad right now, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off camera just for a second. I'm just gonna do the third quarter. I got to do something before the start of the fourth quarter. But I'll go ahead and I'll check out the third quarter with you all here on the State of the Saints podcast. A couple plays been ran. You got Jaden Daniels out here, basically doing the RPO thing. Man, it is yeah, man. Jaden Daniels has played pretty well in this game. He's been able to move around the pocket. He's 18 of 20 right now, 154 yards. So making some really good decisions. But the Saints are going to have to find a way to try to neutralize these guys. But it don't look like that's going to happen, as Zacchaeus actually gets another first down. So we see the offense of the Commanders just completely like just matriculating the ball down the field. And if defense can't make a stop, but they get into the end zone, it's going to be a tough outing for them because you're going to take away the running game. That makes Alvin pretty much a non-factor. And you also, just counting on Jake Haener to throw the ball all over the place. So they're going to set up more opportunities for turnovers. All right, so Brian Robinson carrying the ball. Now they're to the 20-yard line. I mean, sometimes, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear who that nation that the Washington Commanders is just a better football team than the Saints are. They're a better football team. And like I said, man, I mean, it's just human nature. It's just human nature. Like if you battle on one side of the football and you trying to give everything that you can and you get a few stops and then all of a sudden the offense go back out there 3-and-out. Then you get them an opportunity to do it again. They can't get a stop, then another 3-and-out. Like it's just hard. It's just hard for you to keep on like, going out there, going as hard as you can, knowing that is almost like in some ways a waste of time when your offense can't respond to the defensive performance. Like you have 4 sacks in this game, breaks off a sack right there, chasing them down the field. And like that stuff can get annoying. But and I mean, this is basically just wearing out a defense. I mean, they feel like it's an uphill battle. Like, oh man, if we give them a stop, they ain't gonna do nothing with it. Like that's hard. That is hard to deal with. 14 touchdowns and they last 16 red zone visits. That's pretty impressive by the Commanders. Let's talk about booing Jaden Daniels. I didn't hear anybody booing this guy. I didn't believe they were going to boo him anyway. Why would they boo Jaden Daniels? People people love Jaden Daniels. You probably got a nice percentage of Saints fans in the building right now just to see just to see Jaden Daniels. Yeah. Let me read some of your comments here. It says Fire Loomis overhaul now. Nah, I don't think they're gonna, fire him, but they're gonna have to do an overhaul or something, man. They're gonna have to do something. But they definitely gonna have to, man, get them. Like if you're gonna keep me personally, like I would just go ahead. Look, next year I'll just go ahead and move on. I'll just eat the cap. I'll just go ahead and eat the cap. I move on from Derek Carr. Um, and I just eat the cap, man. Like you just need to take 1 year and just let the chips fall where they may. That's what you got to do. Like just take 1 year and be bad, be terrible. It may not make people happy, but at least you're going in the right direction. All right. Look, Cam Jordan got 2 sacks in a game. Okay. I got Cam Jordan with 2 sacks in a game. Turning back the clock at least for 1 game. I would just go ahead and just eat the cap. I just eat the cap, get a couple guys in here, maybe be bad, may not, may be terrible, but at least that you'll be doing a rebuild and maybe get your quarterback of the future, but you got to hit that reset button. You got to hit the reset button. Now you can't keep on like kicking this can down the road or trying to avoid the inevitable. Like this, like they trying to avoid the inevitable, but the reality is like you're not a good football team. Like you're not good. You're not a good football team. That's just the reality of the thing. So to me, I'm like that's what I would do. I would just eat the cap and just, try to start from square one. Like trying to pretend that you're something, more than what being more than what you actually are. Like I feel like that's the most frustrating thing about, being a fan, being a Saints fan, is that they know for a fact what they doing, isn't sustainable, but they pretending as if it is. And it's not. Until they like grasp that concept that we need to go in a different direction. Like we need to finally like address this cap situation. And I can understand why you tried to do it. You had, Drew Brees and, he was towards the end of his career and you were trying to bring another Super Bowl to New Orleans. And, But when it all comes down to it, like that was over. Like once Drew Brees retired, it was over. And I don't know if you thought maybe you can do something with with Derek Carr, but just ain't it, man. Just ain't it. I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to throw the ball for the rest of this game. So this kind of plays into the hands of the Commanders. So they already know. Like they already know. Like all we got to do is neutralize Alvin, get a couple stops, get the ball back, score, and now they can pin their ears back. Like they got a large enough lead to pin their ears back and just attack. We are talking about the cap situation for both franchises. Hmm. Saints desperately need a good scouting crew. Yeah, so they didn't bench Jake Hayner. Now Spencer Rattler is about to be out there. Like he can't get mad. I know he looked like he upset, but dude, yeah, you ain't this ain't it, bruh. All right, so here we go. Here's the return with that Jamal Williams. Yeah, Jamal Williams carrying the football. Yeah, but they definitely need to do that. So in comes Spencer Rattler. So but I don't know. It's 7.7 yards per attempt, 15. Well, it was. Yep, that's all they got to do now. All they're gonna do is go up in there. They're gonna blitz them all game now. They got a lead. They got a large enough lead for them to go out here and just blitz all game. So now they can pin their ears back. They can pin their ears back and just hunt all game long after this. That's all they can do now. That's all they got to do is just pin their ears back. All right, so Spencer Rattler looking, tossing. That's incomplete. There's flag on the play. Oh, well, penalty decline, third down. I don't know. Man, this is this is bad, man. Like that, like I can understand, like your team needs a quarterback, right? You got your starting quarterback, but when I say like absolutely, and that was a good pass to Dante Pettis right there for a first down. That was a good pass. Best pass, best pass of the day by a Saints quarterback. Dante Pettis, man. I mean, he getting active. Kind of threw it behind him, but that was a really good catch by Dante Pettis. Hand off to AK. One thing that I was talking with some NFL guys yesterday at the Celebration Bowl. They were talking about the Saints holding on to these veterans too long. Holding on to these guys too long and not embracing the future. And maybe like letting guys go a year too early, then a year too late. You know, maybe like investing in your future. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like everybody jumped. It's a false start. I mean, Alvin Kamara, just I mean, he basically is the offense, especially today. He is definitely the offense. Like, ain't really got nobody else. All right, here we go. Uh, oh, what a catch, man! That was a man catch right there. That was a man catch right there. That's a man catch right there. Not too many. Not too many people catching. Not too many people catching passes like that. They call them business decisions. Oh, he caught. What a catch, man! What a catch, man! Alvin caught that. Man, he caught that like he was a wide receiver. Did he catch that joint? One, two. Oh my goodness! What a catch! What are you talking about? I mean, 2 feet in bounds though. That's still he may have. I'm about to say that's a catch. I'm about to say what are we talking about? Once he planted that first foot right there and he crosses the plane, like that's a touchdown. Man, what a catch. What a man, that was man. Saints said they gotta score somehow. Said Van Valdez Scanlon. If Valdez Scanlon said man, but they're gonna have to keep they gotta keep Marquez Valdez Scanlon. Snap infraction, really? Yeah, they gotta keep Valdez Scanlon, man. Man, that was one heck of a catch right there. They gotta keep Valdez Scanlon. They gotta keep Marquez Valdez Scanlon. They gotta keep him. That man just make plays. He just make plays. He just makes plays, man. When you got somebody like that, you gotta keep him. You gotta keep dude. You have got to keep dude. Yeah. That was a good play. Like that was not too like that catch that Rattler threw to him. You're not gonna have too many people. You're not gonna have too many people that try to make a catch like that, like in traffic the way that he did. So that was a big time catch right there. Rattler came in the game and on the first and on the first drive and led the team down the field. You know what that kind of reminded me of? That kind of reminded me of that preseason game where Jake Hayner started. I want to say maybe it was like the last game of the season or I mean like the last game of preseason. And then Rattler just came in and nah, maybe it was the game versus Arizona. It was the Arizona game. And he came down, he just went down the field and just scored on his first drive. Uh-oh. I mean, he came in and provided that spark, though. Hey, but that was a good pass by Scantling, though. That was a good pass. That was a good pass. He threw that like a quarterback. I'm talking about, dude. I can't. Can y'all think of y'all think of a running back that ever caught a pass like that? I don't think I ever seen a running back catch a pass like that. He caught that like he was a receiver. There you go. Said the ball came loose, but all right. So it's saying that the ball was loose. See if we can take a look at this. And nah, he down. He down. He down. No need. No need to take a look. No need to waste anybody's time. Man, they're gonna have to figure something out, but they're gonna have to figure something out. Man, Terry McLaurin been tearing these boys up all game, but I mean, you got a bunch of young, inexperienced members in your secondary. You know, Kool-Aid McKinstry, he'll get better. I mean, but got to be able to go through situations like this before you can actually, get better. But they're gonna have to get a stop here. Like you're gonna have to force these dudes to punt. You're gonna have to force these dudes to punt. Like they score it, you're pretty much over. Look like the Carolina Panthers back to reality as well. After been playing tough, been playing teams tough all season. Well, for the last couple games, I should say. All right, so let's see if they can actually get off the field here on this third down. You can put some pressure on Jaden Daniels, but make sure he don't move around in that pocket, cause problem. All right, so here we go. It's a 3rd and 14, man. Look, you got to be able to get off the field. You got to get off the field in this one. And they don't. And they don't. Wow. Yeah, you got to be kidding me. Like I say, man, I mean, like I said, like they just struggle against quarterbacks. They can run. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe because you got some big, tall, defensive linemen and stuff like that. No true like little hybrid guys that can be able to chase down these mobile quarterbacks. You score like you. What was it? 3rd and 14, and they convert. Plays like that basically just kind of just demoralize you. Like it's 3rd and 14, you scramble. I mean, it's the same old song and dance, man. Every single year, like you would think, like they've been trying to use the same philosophy when it comes to defensive player. These dudes are like 6'7", 6'8", 280, 290. They've been trying to use the same narrative. It just don't work. Like man, get like teams with these small kind of hybrid type pass rushers, that guys that can control the boundary and be able to chase down these mobile quarterbacks. That's just the wave of the modern day NFL. And y'all still up in here trying to reinvent the wheel here, man. Like y'all still up here trying to reinvent the wheel. Like you need some more speed at the linebacker position. You need speed rushes up front. Get them. Man, Chase Young up here with 2 sacks today. And can Chase Young play the Commanders every week? All right, can they get off the field on a 3rd and 19? Can we get off the field on a 3rd and 19? Thank you. Field goal time. So I'm pretty sure they're not gonna kick this until the start of the 4th quarter anyway. Let's see what they got. Did he catch the ball? And he did. That's a catch. He got both his hands underneath. That's a catch. Good catch. So they're not gonna kick this 41-yarder until the start of the 4th quarter anyway. Man, this quarter went by fast. That was a fast quarter. And he shanked that. He didn't make it. They didn't have no time on the clock. They didn't. Wow, that's crazy. They didn't have any time on the clock, and they let them kick that field goal. They let them kick. They let him kick the field goal with 0 seconds. I was like, man, 3, 2, 1, 0. I mean, and then they let him kick it. Wow. He missed it, but they're gonna give him another opportunity to kick it again because they ain't have no time on the clock, right? Wow, gave this man a test kick. Gave this man a test kick. Gave homie a chance to do a re-kick. All right, folks, but let me go ahead and read some of these donations, and I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. We'll be back. I'm gonna put the link for the post game for Bleacher Report in the comments. So come on over to Bleacher Report when this game is all said and done. Check out the commentary over there. Our D line is playing surprisingly well. One of the most painful things about being a Saints fan is dealing with the racism in the fan base. The excuses made for Hainer. Well, ain't no excuses today. I mean, he just didn't play well. Josh also said we are a good 5 years away from being serious contender. We need to accept that, start over, and fix our cap. I agree, man. It's just time to embrace what's going on. You know, it's just time to embrace what's going on. Until they do that, you know, we're gonna find yourself in the same situation, man. It's extremely frustrating as a fan. It's extremely frustrating covering this team and watching these guys just. I mean, just absolutely like just just have like no sense of awareness of what's going on around them right now. It's comical at this point. But once again, we'll be back. We'll have the post game show after we're on Bleacher. But I put the link once again inside of the comments. So come on over to Bleacher Report. As soon as this game finishes up, we'll be able to talk about it. So come on over once again. And also want to thank the fine folks at BETUS. Sign up today. Get up to 150% on your first deposit, up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. Use the promo code YouTube150. Till next time, all I got to say is